thermal imaging, like you guys had mentioned. So you guys should be able to see me in there. I'm the red, orange, and yellow guy. So this is a real thermal imaging camera attached to a cell phone. This is what firemen would use to actually help save people. This is the real deal, not a phone app. Again, like he said, we're looking for cold spots. Like, that's the literal thing that we're looking for. Normally I ask that question, but he answered it already. How are we looking for those cold spots? I'm red, orange, and yellow, which means the colder spots are going to be blue and black. So we're looking for them to either take shape or to start moving on their own, normally in the shape of people. So that's usually what we discover when we actually get something on this guy. So we capture probably anywhere between about a dozen to 15 things on here per year that are actually legit and solid evidence. But there's other things on here that we just can't explain. We don't know what's going on with it. The cool thing about your video is that there's a blue dot bouncing around the screen. That blue dot is going to show you exactly where the coldest spot is in the frame at that particular moment with a temperature sensor on it. There's also a center crosshairs that's giving us ambient temperature. So that way we can actually do a comparison. I always keep track of the weather for us, any kind of moon phases. That's all going to be in your report and analysis tomorrow. So with this guy, yeah, I know it can be very daunting.
The blue-black is his sweatshirt.
It's okay. We're gonna get you to liven up a little bit. So I'm actually going to.
Done.
All right, I say we actually get away from football players and ponies. You guys ready to deep dive into history? All right, let's do this. We're going to head up this way.
Wait, so we can hear what we're saying in the phone as well?
Yeah, it's recording audio.
So I basically have two jobs as well. Recording things and
commentating?
finding heat and cold. I want to hug Ghost today. You're cold? I'm toasty.
I'm pretty chilly too. Kind of a wuss about the cold.
I just picked pants over the shorts before we left.
Yeah, I know you were considering wearing shorts. Are you glad you didn't?
I'm too tall. I can see. Everything's cold. Everything's cold these days. Even those people.
So you thought you heard children over there? Alright, so those are the things that I'll be writing down.
6.7. Oh, it's gone.
Yep, that's why they call it ghost hunting. They don't stand still.
That's fine. I don't want it on me.
I'll be looking. Don't judge.
So
this is going to be easy. Everything is warm.
I know I told you 2.5. Yeah, so at this point, I don't want to know anything below 6.7. So that way I'm not writing down a whole book of numbers, if you kind of get the gist.
Okay, yep.
So, let me further explain what those numbers actually mean. So that way it actually be a little bit more creepy for you.
Oh, good, yeah.
Yeah, that's good, right?
Uh-huh.
That's what you guys paid for. So, that's measuring electricity in the air, right?
Yeah.
So if you were to put that device behind your TV, there you have a bunch of wires back there. It's going to read about 40 to 60 milligauss. So that's a pretty decent reading, nothing dangerous. But if you were standing next to your microwave that was running on high, it's going to be about 150 to 170. So it kind of gives you a gist of like what the scale is. The highest I've ever seen that device go has been in here at 214. So we left. Like, those are dangerous levels. We don't mess around with that because that's like putting your head inside the running microwave. Yeah, so when you start, like, in the event you get to close to triple digits, like in the 90s, like, you got to let us know immediately. That's when it's like really okay to really interrupt me and let me know what's going on. So I'm a guy with seizures. I'm not playing around with high electricity and EMF fields.
If I run away, just follow me.
Can microwave still work if the lid is open? Or do you just drill a hole in the bottom and put your head in?
He's trying to figure out how to put his head in the microwave. That was a bad analogy. Sorry, Mom and Dad. So.
That's good. I mean, cold. Yeah.
All right, so
we live with him.
So
my
we just
fist
stay
is
within
cold.
the parking lot. Oh yeah, you got to know what you're looking for first.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go through the history. Congratulations, you made it. It's a parking lot. This used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion site. So yeah, so the mansion actually sat in the front of this space, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with the Five Church restaurant over there and came all the way across. And we're standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. So that kind of gives you the layout of the land. But there are 3 of you using spirit boxes at this point. I'm not going to be giving you questions like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did with the big red barn. You're going to get the answers from your spirit box, and yes, I'm going to withhold information on purpose, so that way you guys have a genuine experience. Just remember, I'm going to be able to verify all of this with links tomorrow morning when you get your analysis back.
Some people don't really.
Oh, no, there's a history.
Oh.
Got to go through the history.
So you
It's gonna make more and more sense.
children were standing in the slave quarter, and I got a hit. So
I'm
there's
looking
a dead
everywhere.
kid here somewhere.
Technically, yeah. Wow. Like how she drew that conclusion. Here's
Your
how this
shoes are
goes.
cold.
Eliza and Charles
I've
had a
been-
son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Charleses in
Charles.
case you lost track of that. That's why we look for the secondary clues, so that way we know which Chuck we're talking to. Now, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's if I don't mention it, it usually comes up somewhere else. So we're going to talk about Eliza more so because her story is much more interesting and I hate politics. Now, Eliza married Charles at a young age. If any of the 3 of you are going to ask Eliza how old she was when she got married, you're not going to get answers from the colonial times that she came from of like 12 and 14. You're going to get answers according to, today's standards. Now, as far as that goes, she did marry Charles because her father was over in England. He thought he was dying. He didn't know he was one last time. Eliza didn't believe he was dying. In 1744, to get married. We're not that country. So she did marry him out of love and no foul play. No affairs or anything like that. Now, she was correct. Dad did not die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to this space. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. Like that's basically what we use for today. She got them. She didn't know what to do with them. So she had to learn from her slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's not always hot here, obviously. We're all a little chilly. It's being freezing. Now, once she figured it out here, she moved it to a cash crop just south of here by the Stono River, and then gets a hold of her father to tell him that the rice plantations are going downhill and they're going to make a killing with the indigo now that she figured out the whole dyeing process. So now we have an international businesswoman during colonial times. That's her business. Let's get into the weird stuff, because that's why you guys are here.
Yay!
A couple of things you guys can focus on. So you guys are, we're not using a ton of different spirit boxes. Keep in mind I have 7 different styles of spirit boxes, so we're going to kind of like go really in depth here. Eric, with yours, focus on Eliza's death. As far as that goes, you can ask anything about how old she was when she died, what she died from, where she's buried, and which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. Like, those are very specific questions. With your guys' spirit box, I'm going to give you 2 different sets of questions because it doesn't have as many in each set. The mansion's not here anymore. What happened to it and when did that happen? Obviously, we're looking for a very specific date. Kind of keep that in mind. The other thing is the children. I already told you there was one. His name was Charles. There's more. You can ask how many and what their names are.
I want to ask a
The reason
question.
being is because there's a tragedy among the
Listen
kids.
until
You don't want to poke the bear, so just kind of let it be. Again, very respectable, prominent English woman. Let's not piss her off. Kind of mentality. So I haven't checked my word list in a minute, but yes, we are going to spread out in here. I'm going to keep Lydia behind, so that way I can show her how to use that motion sensor. And I don't have anything on here besides municipal. And it's very vague. So I'm not super happy about the list so far, so we'll kind of see what goes on with that. Again, just keep in mind there's only 2 vehicles in here tonight. It's kind of nice. It's a weekday. Weekends, we're really restricted on space. We're just not going to go near those 2 cars at all. Just kind of keep that in mind when you guys are filming.
Okay.
No cars.
So no cars at all. So nice slow movements. And again, you can share your ride with him to help keep him occupied too. So I'm going to keep her for about 2 minutes and show her how to use that thing. And then I'm going to be catching up with you guys, writing a bunch of notes down on whatever you guys are hearing. So we'll have some fun.
Or seeing.
Move around, get some heat in you.
Do you want this in too, buddy?
No, but I think we should like stick together.
We
Maybe
can. We can.
Yeah, we should. We could find a cold spot, and that'd be more likely to ask the question.
Her name was Eliza.
Eliza, with an E, yes.
So what should we ask Eliza?
Like
Eliza, what did you die from?
I think it's like old age or like poisoning. Like I was gonna say, Elijah, there was a little place here. What happened? Start asking questions when we find Elijah? No. see the warm spots. It's cold.
Eliza, are you happy right now?
Eliza. Why do you...
Eliza, how big was your wedding? Hold on, buddy. It's wrapped. Hold on, buddy.
Searching for Eliza.
Okay, here you go.
Okay, so I'm just gonna ask a yes or no question.
You can ask some questions.
Okay, Eliza.
Eliza,
do you know where you were buried?
Eliza, who were the most famous people at your wedding? Let's walk this way. Let's keep going. Go back this way.
Elijah, do you hide from Eliza, do you hide from someone? If yes, who?
Remember they said we don't ask a lot of yes/no questions. Go that way.
That's actually good. I was about to take it out anyways. My arms are aching. I'm sorry for her. Like, if she was buried here, she would be completely covered in cement. God.
So what if we ask some a little harder questions like, Eliza, did you treat your slaves civil? Were you civil to them?
Okay, tell me what you get. Because if we get something, I am immediately looking in everything. Sus. Not sus. Maybe we should start talking like old timers. So she'll maybe get tricked. Probably won't work, but maybe.
Eliza, why did you come to the United States, which was not the United States?
Okay, ask how her family is. Ask how her family is.
Eliza, how is your family? Is that what you wanted? Not really.
You're asking questions.
I asked one question, and it was I couldn't really hear it. It sounded like the beginning of a song, but it started with a word, as in like an answer.
Okay. You should also remember that, again, you might ask a question, but KRISTY and Matt are also asking questions, and
right.
we don't know where the answer is going to go. It could show up here, his audio, the audio on the other camera, my word list. So again, when I have 11 people out here, sorry, buddy. Again, we have like
you
8.
have to cross-reference everything.
Yeah.
Always.
So,
because you could be getting something that sounds like a hit, but it's not coming from me for a question.
and no matter how silly you think it might be, there might be times where she's just grabbing whatever she thinks she can grab that's relevant to her. So you might actually hear indigo even though you were asking her about her age. I'm just giving you something specific that you
Right.
already know about. So again, indigo would definitely be a relevant term here, even though you were trying to get a different answer. So even no matter matter how silly you think it is, drop it like it's hot. Like,
You never know.
you never know. The word
Right.
hot might mean that there was a fire here.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Again, it's about putting all those clues together. So, again, nice slow movements out of you, buddy. You got this.
You're a very good
The
cameraman.
coldest part here is down there and up there, and I'm catching very little from up
Well,
there.
then we can
Yeah.
just slowly keep walking
Yeah.
around, even if we're just walking in a circle.
So when I'm watching this part of your video, I'm mainly looking at the walls because the walls can hold on to the sun.
The heat. Yeah.
So that way, if something
You'll
blue goes
see that.
across, right. All right, let me follow up with these two and see what's going on.
My mom's walking way over there. Should we join with Mom, or are we just here?
Was it demolished or?
Dad, he said not to come around here. Dad, ask her for her favorite thing she likes to do.
What?
Ask her her favorite thing she likes to do in her free time.
Eliza, when you had free time, what was the most favorite things you liked to do?
Maybe read. That's my guess. Yep, Mom's following us. Let me check it. He's good. Mom haven't gotten anything much lately. I'm going to touch. No. Dad, ask her if she would be so kind enough to say hello. I think that's what they would say it.
Where was your bedroom according to the numbers on the bed walls here?
I think those are the parking spots.
They are. It's still a reference.
Maybe like 45,
You can say a number.
37.
Was her bedroom on the 43 side or the 34 side?
I remember. You're always going to be talking to her. Because you have the ghost box communication.
Yep.
I have this. It's getting very aching for my hands. I want my mask back.
But nothing above. And when I stop,
I'm not getting
I've stopped,
any paranormal
and it goes
temps
away.
here.
Well, that's why we're going to keep recording it. And I send those videos to YouTube so you can watch them on much bigger screens. So, again, it's not always going to be a real-time thing. It is super cool to watch, though, isn't it?
Yep. This is awesome. It looked like a pumpkin if it was like lit up by
Oh, it is
a
October.
firework. Oh, that'd probably destroy it. Okay, this is a no idea, but I want to check up there, see if she has some.
Not that I'm really getting anything solid,
Okay.
but
Hey,
you
Dad,
ask
can I try a
questions
question?
and it changes and it's neat.
Wait, can you hold this while I ask a question?
What do you need to do?
He wants to ask.
Oh, absolutely.
So Eliza,
Hey, do you
Eliza.
here? Can we switch?
Yeah.
Do you want to walk around with this, and I will record?
I think he just wants to check out the thermal imaging camera.
Actually, I've used these several
Oh, have you?
times. Yeah. Well, for chasing water leaks
Oh, yeah.
on roofs or on walls or air leaks or.
I've fixed plenty of things around the house with that thing.
Absolutely.
My wife says the dryer's not working. I'm like, let me get the thermal.
Yeah. Let's
Something's
see.
leaking somewhere.
Absolutely. Well, it's. Yeah, it's amazing how you can find a water leak
Yeah.
in a window. You have moisture coming in. It changes very quickly.
He can't hear you. He's got the earbuds in.
Eliza, was your life good?
That's a yes/no question.
So that's why I was asking, according to the numbers, what side of this was your bedroom on the 46 side or the 33 side, hoping that you got a number out of it.
That's cool. It's actually a new tactic. I don't think
Eliza.
anybody's tried before.
Would you be so kind enough to tell us two numbers where your bedroom may be?
There you go.
I've upgraded that. I think that's the third upgrade I've done with the camera itself.
Yeah.
Just because no other one has that blue dot where I can just separate it by itself. And
Wow.
that's a big factor when we're doing stuff like this.
Yeah, the blue dot's probably a lot different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
The
not
picture's a
getting
little bit
much.
It's okay. You gotta keep listening. Yeah, the blue dot is very, very. I can set up a heat dot too, but pretty much pointless out here.
A good
Got an 8.8.
a good friend of mine does home inspections, and this is how he checks all the heating up.
So yeah, you're definitely familiar with it.
A 22.5.
Wow.
Eliza, is that you? Tell Derek. 10.3. 4.8. Eliza, if that is you or the children, can you show us a different color? Show purple. Show blue. Are you following down this picture? It's so weird when this thing makes noises with that antenna and I'm nowhere near it.
Yeah.
change again. Got near it, but and the color is getting shot up there. Did I say 22? Did it go up to 22?
Yeah, I got a 22.
Okay. I was gonna say I just shout them out.
Yeah, I write them down. I know what you guys are doing. I can usually tell the conversation. It's actually very interesting considering what we're about to discuss.
What do you say?
He heard a scream. And,
What was
You guys
Switch?
getting anything? Or can I start covering the
I
answers?
don't want to listen to that. I do not
That's
wanna
not that
listen.
bad.
Alright, so
I don't want to listen.
we actually had a
Mine's
14, a
supposed to be
17, and a
sometimes.
22 milligauss reading that showed up. So like those, like 18 to 22 is about an average of what we normally see here as far as a spike goes. But again, I have seen it. We have been getting much higher than that over the past since the last 4 months. About a week and a half ago.
Whenever you want, buddy.
I may not be asking the right question.
Whenever I break out the tablet once it boots up, I don't know why it shut down. Just charged it. I always kind of like to give you guys some visuals so you know who the heck you're trying to hunt down. For those of you with cameras, if you want to stop them to kind of give your hands a break, you can do that.
Started. Check. Nervous as a duck in a lava pit. Check. Ready to hide under my pillows at home? Check. Okay, we're good. It becomes really cold and really hot.
Just careful, there's people walking by. You don't want to film them. Alright, so what have you guys heard? What'd you get on there, Derek? Anything? You heard what?
I guess I didn't even listen to it during most of the
So we're not going to use the motion sensor in here. We're
Oh.
only going to be worried about that red screen.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What did you guys hear on yours?
We're gonna have a party.
That's what you heard on it?
That's a long phrase.
Ah.
Well, we heard we're gonna have a party. Then as soon as we put our heads up, it was like the news.
Huh. Oh, they heard it at when we were at Magnolia's.
Oh, got it. Understood.
Right.
It's like they were standing there
We're
like
gonna have a
discussing.
Well, they
Anything else
heard we're
come up
gonna
out
have
of
a party. When they looked up, she meant they were standing at Magnolia's.
Alright, so welcome to Lodge Alley. This is a weird space. We don't spend a ton of time in here either, but I always like to point out what this place is. So when we crossed that last crosswalk coming down East Bay Street, that's where the original Charlestown walls used to be. So you're standing on one of the first streets we've ever had.
Okay.
So I have a full list of residents of every single person that's ever lived down here, and you guys always give me the same 2 names back. Those 2 names are Benjamin and John. Now, it's not a lengthy list of people that lived here because there's only about 2 to 5 people that lived down here at a time, at least according to this list. Now, Benjamin and John, they both lived down here in the same year, 1801. We have 5 people that lived down here. These are on every 6 to 7 weeks when you guys give me these names, it's the same 2 people that live here. John, let's give us his last name too. His last name is Johnson. There were 4 different Johns that lived down here, so it's almost like he's claiming like which John he actually is. So we will get John, Johnson, and Benjamin all in the same evening from you guys. So again, you have to imagine I'm out here 6 to 7 nights a week, depending on the weather. So again, it's kind of happening every 6 to 7 weeks, and I have been gauging it right now. We're in week 2 of that loop, so I wasn't necessarily expecting you guys to hear those 3 things, but here's why it's happening. This is another paranormal theory. Here's how this goes. You're standing on Belgian blocks. These things have been here since 1739 that we know of. That's a few hundred years, basically. So basically, the stone tape theory states that any stone that's natural, these are made of granite, by the way, that has been in the same place for a long period of time, can hang on to the consciousness of the memories of the things that occurred here. So, in a nutshell, I believe we're dealing with the stone tape theory, and I've been measuring conditions even more closely over the past few months, trying to pinpoint when this is actually occurring. So when you guys see the moon phase and weather and all that stuff at the top of your data set tomorrow, it's basically for this location. So here's the weird thing. Granite is not supposed to have an electrical charge to it at all. Put your device on any brick. Let's see what we get. Anything up to 1.1 is going to be natural from the Earth, so I usually don't count anything with a 1 in front of it. So I don't really see anything going on.
3.8.
It's around 3.8, okay. have seen that device go all the way up to 15 in this location as we're getting closer to that 6th week. So it's like that 5 into week 6. So that's when we've been pretty much seeing that there. But the 3.8, it's not insignificant, but it's definitely not the highest number we've ever seen.
Saw 4.5.
With my toe and my finger, I managed to mark two of those.
We're not, fortunately.
Yeah.
We're going to get close to it, but we're not going to go past it. The other weird thing that occurs down here that you guys will normally tell me about is you guys will hear the word Illuminati as we're entering the space. Here's the funny thing about the word Illuminati. This is where the Freemasons have their Masonic Lodge. You guys will normally tell me you've heard that word or phrase off the radio station as we're entering before you know anything about the Freemasons down here. This is where the alley got its name from. Lodge Alley, Masonic Lodge. So, I guess the weirdest thing about this is who the hell's talking about the Illuminati on the radio? Like, that should be a first question. And second, why are we only hearing it in this space? You guys normally tell me that you've heard it as a joke. I just heard the term Illuminati. Like, that's a joke. But it is definitely relevant to the space. And we do get other terms relevant to the Freemasons, like symbols and founding fathers. And
Which one was the lodge?
so none of these buildings that are here were here then.
Oh.
So, to my understanding, it was up there and off to the left.
Okay.
So, again, that would have been 1790s
How
roughly.
old are these buildings?
These buildings are probably early 1900s, if not later.
Okay.
So, but yeah, relative. But we're talking about the people that live down here had shotgun houses. So little tiny
Hey, why are you holding it?
houses, very poor, poverty, that kind of mentality. The smell of low tide would be coming through here. Again,
Stop.
the wall was down on East Bay Street, so the big buildings weren't there. Again, the rich people of Charleston are not going to put up this small low tide. So again, this would have been people that were either, we'll call them seamstresses, if you're kind of getting my meaning there, or you'll see the word Cooper a lot on that whole list of people because it gave their occupation as well. So Coopers were barrel makers. So bakers were down here. There was a grocer at one point. There was even like somebody. His name was Alexander. He actually had almost like a bed and breakfast. Like he would rent the room out. So now the next space we're going to go.
So it was bustling.
Yeah. The next space we're going to is another alley. However, I can't take you all the way through it like what we're doing here. It is considered residential at the end, and I'm the one who got booted out of there. And yes, I will tell you how that happened because, again, I got caught. So it was a weird thing where I was just starting to do this and didn't really realize my full boundaries yet. But that's kind of the fun part of the story because it tells you why we go to the last place that we go to. But the next place is another alley. So when we exit, we're definitely going to stop our videos again because we're cutting through a neighborhood. We don't record houses the same way we don't record cars. So you're going to stop your video as we exit, and then we can start it back up again once we get into the alley. But we're also going to be running into other tours at this point if they're out and about. It is a really quiet night for us out here. You guys are the brave souls that bear the cold. So I don't know that we're going to run into other tours, but we don't film other tours either. So we'll be very careful. So let's head up to the other alley. Do you have another reading over there?
6.2.
Anything higher than that?
No. Just
I feel the urge to see it.
so.
I feel the urge to check this place.
It was getting higher as I went this way, and then it stopped. And the 6.2 was right here. 6.
You're right about there again. Looks like it's pretty steady.
So there it is.
6.2.
6.4. 7. Right. Weird. That's so crazy.
It's like there's people walking, taking steps there, and then leaving. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's becoming charged like the longer you know about it.
Yeah, there's a black spot right there. Directly.
7.3.
Okay, I see 65. That's the lowest I see right
Looks
there.
like we're past through. You got somebody walking by.
Sorry.
How are you?
See, daisies.
So,
Some brick exploration.
I still say that 7.3 is pretty significant.
Yeah,
That's pretty kind of climbed up a little bit.
Yeah. Very strange.
So we turn it off down here. Or no.
still recording or not?
As we exit, go ahead and shut it off, or if you're comfortable shutting it off now, you can.
Okay, I want to try and catch something.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Perfect. Huh.
Yep.
Masonic Lodge, huh?
Yep. This place kind of giving me creeps. Well, now I really do feel like a turkey in a volcano. Just by me here.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I don't need Rudolph the Nosed Reindeer. I just need red.
Right.
So you have 1958. So I'm going to write down 1958. Might be 1819. Might be 1858. Or something that's specific to that location. So I'm going to definitely dive into that. You can.
Don't record them, remember?
No, I'm not. I was looking at a tree.
I thought that's what you said.
Old spot right there.
Yeah, the ground.
That was a dumb idea. There's a phone in there.
The archaeological dig that they did over there, I want to say happened in '84. So I was trying to maybe it was the year that they did the dig or something along those lines. But welcome to Duelos Alley. This is called Philadelphia Alley now. So this is where some of the duels used to occur. Every tour guide comes, every ghost tour is down here. So this is kind of a staple for all of the ghost tours around here. But of course we're going to be talking about it a little bit differently because we're ghost hunting. You guys need different details. So here's how this goes down. Is that the same tour guide you guys had last night? You guys
Okay,
had the
I want
actual
to try and
pirate
catch
guy.
some of the words that you're speaking.
Got it.
I'm trying to catch some words.
Okay. So just kind of keep it pointed down that way and don't film those people over there for me, okay?
Well, I know where I'm not. I'm looking in the exact opposite direction.
So here's how this story goes. Again, this is a normal staple. A doctor moves down to Charleston from Rhode Island because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Did you guys hear this one already? Did she already bring you down? Wow, she didn't bring you down.
No, she did say the duel. This is where the duel is. You don't remember that?
But she didn't go over the whole story? No. Okay. So his fiancée, Amanda, just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney that's helping her out with all of the cash. So the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after all of her money. So he tells her to get rid of the doctor, which, by the way, the doctor's name is Joseph Brown Ladd. We do get a lot of terms relative to his name down here. So, to prove that he's not after Amanda's money, he moves to Charleston. And as he's coming into town, the coachman brought him in, set him up to be robbed and killed. So it wasn't a very good start to his stay in Charleston. But somebody was walking by and saw it was about to go down because he knew the coachman because he lived here. His name is Ralph Isaacs. I stop on Ralph because Ralph has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. I do have a digital Ouija board that we're not using tonight that's in my bag. Yeah. Once I seen your demeanor, I was like, we're going to leave that one in the bag. But even before we started using that, because that's relatively new to the tour, I mean, it's brand new advice to the field, but we were getting the letters RI on spirit boxes in the weirdest format. So, Ralph tells the doctor, I know this guy, he's going to try to kill you. Don't go inside. I got some friends at 59 Church Street. You can stay there, and you'll be safe and good to go. Dr. Ladd takes him up on the offer, and they become friends. We're going to let them pass through. So, now, the longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. So he's proving his point that he wasn't just after Amanda's money. So that means also that Amanda's moving down soon. Hi, how are you? Fine. Amanda's moving down soon, so the doctor's pretty happy about this. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. Every haunted city you're ever going to visit has a cliche whistling ghost. I'm going to guarantee that for you right now.
How many people hear the whistle?
I actually have quite a few, but I can't. We're going to get into that.
Do you hear the whistle?
Oh wait, there's more to this. Hang on.
Would you hear the whistle with the technology? Ow.
The cool thing is, and I'm going to get into how we actually listen for those whistles, but we do get the word whistle on the spirit boxes, and we've had commercials and songs come through with just the whistling part of the song. Think of Guns N' Roses' Patience, think of the Maroon 5 Moves Like Jagger. So we do get just that whistling part, but we have gotten other pieces that are audio pieces just from the regular voice recorder of faint whistles in the background. You just can't really make out what they are. But anyway, Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. So they can't sit next to each other. They talk about these plays on the way home. And one night they went to go see Richard III from Shakespeare, and they're arguing over the new actress that was here in town. Dr. Ladd thought she was fantastic, but Ralph didn't think so. So the argument gets even more heated when Ralph starts insulting Amanda, the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island. They go their separate ways. I know, history can be long, buddy. So I call out every yawn. Now, Ralph, having a lot of friends here, has friends at the newspaper, and he puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Dr. Ladd sees the newspaper ad, and he rebuttals with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. So they come down, they take their 10 paces, they turn, the doctor points his gun in the air, and he's shot. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up. But Ralph, he has his one shot. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. The doctor didn't die either, but he's carried home by his friends to 59 Church Street, where he died 10 days later after refusing medical treatment. You have to remember that this guy's a doctor. He probably tried to bleed out the bullet himself. So again, the campfire ghost story part of this is that you can hear the whistles as you're going through. Now, if you guys are going to try this without a tour guide with you and go all the way through, turn on your voice recorders from your phone and listen in the background to it later. What I will tell you is that every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street from the other side is going to throw a whistle down the alley. I do it every single night. We're going to end over there, and my garage is that way, so I have to pass the alley every single night. So I always throw a whistle down there, and if my daughter's on the tour, we race to see who's going to throw the whistle first. Especially since I got booted out of here.
We would like whistle in the lane.
What year was that?
Yes.
1786.
He does the whistle.
So, nope, don't mess
No,
with
no,
that
no,
tour yet.
no.
Nope.
They're going to see exactly who's doing it. Now, here's how I got booted out of here. Here's the fun part of the story. This alley didn't always come all the way through on this side. It didn't always go to Cumberland Street, because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So they had to kind of keep them inside. It was called Cow Alley. That was the name of the alley.
Lord is my life.
What did you hear?
Keyword. Lord is my life.
Oh, we're
It's
right
like
next to St.
separate.
Philip's Church.
Yeah.
We're going to start getting more religious terms. It happens pretty much on an every day.
Yeah, that was weird. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
that
like
was.
key word.
Right after you asked something, we're like, keyword.
But that means, because this didn't go all the way through this way, those bricks down there on that side are older. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child and fingerprint swipes in those bricks. At the other side, I would always show them off because we all need to see it. You know, it's one of those pieces that shows how far we've come. I don't care about the diversity of my group. It was a matter of, you guys figured out I'm all about history, right?
Yeah, that's
so,
crazy.
But here's what goes on. Everybody tries to get a reading out of that one brick with the handprint. That kid's not staring at that brick in the afterlife, just so you guys know. But November 26th of 2020, my entire team of 10 is huddled around one brick trying to wait for a spirit box reading or an EMF or something to happen. Again, the kid's not there. I'm trying to shoo them along because it's outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. The guy got tired. He was a new owner of the place too, so he came out screaming. My daughter thought it was great because she was on the tour that night. Dad's getting yelled at. Yeah, so we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I didn't have a tour that night because I worked in retail management for over 20 years. I'm never doing another, Thanksgiving day again. The next day was November 28th. These dates are relevant. I'm getting to it. November 28th, I get a phone call asking me to go down halfway, which we were allowed to do, to reroute my group. I told my group that night, because I was sold out again. Remember, it's Black Friday. You guys are all in town. And I don't believe in the story we're about to go through, but we're going to see what happens and kind of wing it. It was going to be dealing with pirates. So it's kind of like, let's just see what happens. I'm a vampire guy. Before we left, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I did not tell them we were going to be investigating female pirate Anne Bonny. We get down there, I told what little bit I did know about pirates, and somebody else hears the number 300. And I don't know what that means until I'm doing the research the next day. We were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th year anniversary of her trial.
Wow,
so I keep taking
that's
you guys
cool.
back up there in hopes that we're going to continue getting more,
More and
stuff
more.
out of it. But it is a hit or miss location. As somebody with a master's degree in writing, it took a lot to put together a factual tour based off of pirate lore. I have read more damn books on pirates than I ever wanted to in my entire life trying to piece this together. So, when we get up there, worst case scenario, if we don't get anything, you learned a whole heck of a lot about pirates that you never knew before. The good thing is we're going to be able to spread out a little bit. And that way, you know, it's going to be like the Pinckney Mansion site, but it is a very popular area. So we're just going to stay out of the other tour's way. We're going to find our spot, that kind of mentality. So have we heard anything else? Oh, you heard keyword, Lord is, what was it?
Lord is life.
Yeah.
Life. Interesting. Derek, you got anything coming out of yours?
Not really.
Good thing yours is recording.
Heard some Lizzo a little bit ago.
Tylenol Advil at one point.
What'd you say?
Tylenol Advil.
Oh,
I was gonna say I heard a little bit of
Yeah, you're
Lizzo a
getting
little
that
bit ago.
Headache coming on.
Why do I keep, like, for a glimpse second, just seeing that little cone
I mean, if you guys
turn into a man?
really want to play with the Ouija board thing,
Ouija board.
Good.
Ouija
So,
board.
just so you know.
To be honest with
I'm
you,
fine.
that device is literally brand new to the field. So it's almost like I wait till I have my larger groups because again, it's one of those
There's
pieces.
more
I'm
people
teaching the
tapping
ghost how to
into it.
use the darn thing. It works the exact same way that your device works. So anytime that there's an electricity spike in the air, it stops on a letter. And then it saves all those letters and we have to look for
Okay.
anagrams, initials, full words being spelled out, that
Okay,
kind of
I
thing.
see. So it's more like, okay.
So I call it the digital Ouija board because, of course, of what we're doing out here, and a lot of people want that creep factor.
Right.
But it is called an envoy, is basically how it works. It's a really unique device, but again, it hasn't been super fruitful as far as what I was hoping for, like right away. So again, it's almost like I'm teaching the crazy ghosts how to use this
Sure.
thing because they don't know what to do with it. Asking them for colors, they know they have to get to
Yeah.
a certain proximity. All right, anything else crazy going on with your guys' stuff before we move on? I haven't checked my word list in a while. Let's see what we got going on. Yeah, I don't have anything other than the word wife, and that's a little too vague for me. So again, I would need the name Amanda, fiance, you know, inheritance, anything like that. That's going to be a little bit more specific. The word wife, yeah, that's a little too vague. All right, we ready to go learn about crazy pirates? Sure. All right, so you guys had your pirate for last night. This is probably going to be a little bit too familiar.
Saying pirates aren't fun.
Yarr. Should I turn this off?
Yes, please.
I'm actually gonna go use that bathroom.
Oh.
Need a bush.
You good?
Yeah, she's not a we're going to be going through history anyway. So, we're going to be discussing
not
that
much to
little tiny
record.
building over there. You might not. If you can see the crosses on there, those are not crosses, by the way. Those are earthquake bolts. So earthquake bolts, the gist of those, if you're unfamiliar, they're turnbuckles. So in the event we have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886, you can turn them, and it's supposed to straighten the building back up to prevent it from damaging any further. No, it's kind of a clever idea, it just doesn't work. So the only reason I bring it up is because those are the first set of earthquake bolts that we put in Charleston, because that's the oldest government building in South Carolina. So, yeah, that's part of the reason why we're here. We've dealt with intelligent ghosts, we've dealt with residual ghosts, now we're dealing with a familiar ghost. Familiar. So we're here because
Wait, I know him?
Anne Bonny moved to this area at the same time that this building was being constructed. So again, this would be something familiar. We don't have many buildings this old, so that's why we're here. That's why it's a hit or miss, because there are other buildings around here, just not many of them. But anyway, follow me, there's a lot of twists. 1708, right in the middle of the building's construction, a young lady moves here from Ireland. She's with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Is everybody with me so far? The three of them are running away from his angry wife. Yeah, how mad was she? Just pointing that out. Now, Anne back home in Ireland was kind of a badass. They say she actually killed one of her servants when she was only 7, 8, 9 years old with a knife to the belly. Brains as we kind of go through her history. The building's done in 1713. Pirates are coming through town in 1715. Anne is stoked because she's going to fall in love pretty quickly so she can try to earn her freedom like a man. It's a man's world at this point. First guy she falls in love with. Yes, I said first because there's a handful and we're going to go through all. First guy is James Bonny. You see where this one's going, right? Dad didn't approve because he's a filthy pirate. They run away to Jamaica. They get married. Anne Cormac is now Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. However, when she got down there, this James Bonny is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for, because every young lady wants a Captain Jack Sparrow, by the way. This guy is a privateer. He's a spy for the British. He's a coward. This is not who she wants. She falls in love again a few years later. This guy's name is John Rackham, aka Calico Jack. This is literally the person that they based your Captain Jack Sparrow character off of. So is he the Captain Jack Sparrow? Yes, indeed, the one. He has his own ship and wants to be part of that crew, but you can't put a girl on a pirate ship. Does anybody know why?
Because it's a girl.
Ship full of men and
No, we're not. Keep it clean.
Because she's a girl.
It's bad luck.
Oh,
That's why.
well, I mean,
I was trying to keep it PG-13.
Oh,
My mom's over
more
here getting a little rusty.
I'm being honest.
I can see that.
Why is that bad luck? Why is
So-
that bad luck to have girls on ships?
Oh, this thing just
It's a
told me to
whole-
knife you.
It's weird.
Did it say knife?
No, I don't.
So
I wish it.
he makes a deal with her. If you want to be part of the ship, you're going to dress like a guy to hide your gender, but you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy back home in Ireland to keep her away from his wife. So she's like, whatever, again, man's world, let's do this. Most of us are adults here. Let's put two and two together. Being a female in his quarters, she's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a female and that Jack let her on the ship. So he drops her off in Cuba. These are friends of mine. Have the baby over here. They're going to help you out. Come back later. We'll figure it out. She goes and has the baby, but returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to the child. The amount of research I can do is bringing me any answers. She's also dressed like a female. This makes Jack pretty angry. And while she was away giving birth to his child, he captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. Anne's going to go flirting because that's what Anne does. We're on guy number 3, in case you lost track. The guy she's flirting with turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack captured. So now we have 2 females dressed like males on the same ship. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary become friends, possibly lovers. We're never going to know for sure. But the British, they find out where they are, and they send a fleet of ships to come take down one pirate ship. Anne and Mary are the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with their 1-bullet flintlocks, no less, because they probably don't know how to use the cannons yet. They haven't been pirates for very long. Obviously, 2 ladies taking on a fleet of ships is not going to work out. As they're being arrested, she looks at her captain, her beau, Calico Jack, and she says, "You should have fought like a man instead of being hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up here a lot, by the way. The judge, he wants to see the 2 men that fought back so valiantly on their own. Anne and Mary go in front, which, by the way, Calico Jack and the drunken pirates, they're already dead and gone 2 days prior. Anne and Mary reveal their gender. The judge doesn't care that they're female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. He sends them, well, then they scream out, "We plead our bellies," because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he sends them both back to jail and delays the hanging until after the pregnancies are over. But Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne, brings her back home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary. And she has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Yes, very abrupt ending, I know. But Mary Reed, she dies a year later, 1721, from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Most articles and books will tell you that it was fever. I'm going to call BS on that one. It's probably scurvious and nasty and gross and whatever else your imagination wants to come up with. 2 things that I left out of this story. Spirit boxes, you're going to be able to ask whatever the hell you want to in this location. But I did leave out 2 things so you at least had a starter. I left out the name of Anne Bonny's parents. That's the father and the mistress. I also left out the name of Calico Jack's ship. So you guys can ask those 2 questions if you'd like. We can also spread out a little bit in this location. We can go over, if you want to go get some footage of the cemetery with the crazy cameras that we have. I know you guys have already been there, but you don't have any footage of it. Sure. Just don't interrupt the other tours. That means you have to exit right here and go across the street, because there's 2 different sides to the cemetery. Okay. If you want to go to the front of the powder magazine, you can do that as well. That means you exit the lot over there, go in front of the bushes on the left, and again, most tours will stop up in front of the powder magazine as well. So we're going to know within like 5 to 7 minutes if anything is going on here. And again, this is a hit or miss location. If anybody gets any kind of relevant terms, we might actually have something. We'll stay a few minutes extra, but otherwise we'll wrap it up. I will tell you with your device, Anne Bonny loves to show us her hair color. You need to use your motion sensor in here, but don't get excited about the numbers if you're on that half of the lot because of the parking meters and the 2 electrical poles that are in the corners of the lot. So it's all about the colors here, not so much the numbers. Unless you get numbers back here. You get 20 back here. It's stoked. It's probably the first time that ever happened. But Anne's hair color is red. The only way to get a red, they have to touch the antenna.
Right?
Yeah. So you have fun with that.
Good luck.
Have we had any
Oh, I just wasn't getting any.
other phrases or any other terms? Oh, you're the one with the earbud in now. So
Yeah. Do you want this back?
That's fine.
I don't know what that means.
What do you do?
What's going to touch it with a stick?
I want to touch it.
Don't.
Do you want the earbud?
Be careful with that. Put your stick.
I mean,
put your
I've
stick
heard.
down.
Oops, I touched
I
that
dropped
on there.
the stick.
Check my word list real quick. See what we got going on. Yeah, spread out.
I heard words on there, but I was listening to you, so
So
not
that
really
main
listening.
pirate
And all
was
of
sort of
this-
lesbian.
All of what you're telling us is in that recording too,
Oh, it's all right here.
right?
Oh, yeah.
That we'll get.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You get it.
I like to look up this stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, it's interesting to me too. I love the history
again, with
part
all
of
of
it.
the links that are going to come through with this, like you're going to
I'll
have
take
enough resources from every one of the stops.
Come
that we
with
had,
me
and, even
and
still,
record while I look for the person.
So
Yeah.
if you want to go back and see another destination and see if they have different links based on what I
Because with this lights off, look, if
Yeah.
this
I seen the
blinks
links
up
on
to
there.
red
I looked
or
at 'em.
blue,
I didn't
they have to
click on
come up
any of them.
super
I was
duper
just figuring
close.
out what time we had to be here and location. and
Okay,
stuff, but I seen
so
all the
that's
links
what
on
we're
there and
watching
told
for.
them about it.
I'll be looking around.
Well, you still can look around, but I'm saying, you know, come with me. We'll use our two tools together.
Dual tools.
Because
Okay.
if Anne is here, she will change this to red for us.
Maybe we should ask her, Anne, what's your hair color?
Yeah. Anne, can you show us what color your hair is?
Please, we really want to know.
This is the oldest building in all of South Carolina.
Is it a church? Wait, we passed this.
No, it's a...
We passed this.
Yes, remember? They told us they housed their weaponry in here. Their
And there was a guy
ammunition.
eating soup
Their ammo and stuff.
and
And
reading a book.
yeah, he was probably the guy you give your money to. Okay, so the parking meters make the numbers go up. So if Anne is here, Anne, what color is your hair?
My legs are practically frozen because
What was Anne? What was the name of your parents?
I mean, Dad would probably want to ask that.
Well, she can hear me. She'll tell Dad.
Oh, smart. So what was the name of the ship? That's a big question.
Yeah. So what was the name of the ship?
Yeah. I don't like walking here.
Hmm?
I don't like walking here.
Why? We're just gonna walk up in front of the building, the powder magazine. So the parking meters make the numbers go up on this
Why?
because they are very electronic.
Why do you want to do that?
So look, the pillory. Oh, jeez. I got it too close to that. That was me.
I know, I saw.
Revolutionary artillery. The pillory. So that was, they would put people in those things in public, and people could throw rotten food at them, and names, and yeah, all sorts of mean stuff.
Wait.
That was a punishment, a public punishment to keep people from doing crimes.
Yeah, but were they let go?
I think so.
You know what would happen. Don't get humiliated again. Now you can go. Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but they might have been. They might not have been.
I don't really want to record with this anymore.
Huh?
Want to switch?
Sure. You can carry this. Don't press any buttons. Just look
You
for.
want to go towards the cemetery?
Yep.
Yeah, we've been asking for her hair and with the ship.
Yeah, because she can show us her hair color on this thing.
I'm going to catch the second of that side of the Well, I'm trying to listen too.
What
See,
is
and that's
that?
why I kept holding that the whole time we were standing.
What is that?
The sky. It goes up
No,
high.
this outline.
Yeah, there's like lines with like trees and stuff.
Is it that lamp?
Oh, it might be that lamp. It
Lamp.
is.
It's a lamp.
Hmm.
I'm still expecting to hear the beat of red. Sorry.
Don't touch.
Yeah,
I know you want
don't
to,
touch
but
it.
don't. It's not a toy.
We'll trade right back.
Yeah, follow mom.
Right
I
back.
don't want to trade back.
Well, then don't touch it.
Why do those look like farm things? Why don't we... Maybe we could see that religious ghost's grave. So
Man, that tree is so warm. That pillar, that monument is on fire. That's
Well,
crazy.
I heard a talk to me, so what would they like to talk about?
Well, if it's Anne, she could show us what color her hair is, tell us the name of her father,
or
the ship,
if it's the religious ghost.
the name of her mother. We
I
don't know
really
any
want to
names.
be, I don't really want to be here anymore.
Huh?
I don't want to be here anymore.
Why?
I just don't.
If it's the woman
Hey, what
with
is that?
the baby,
Yeah, the religious
she
one.
could tell us the gender of the baby,
I mean,
since that's not marked down
pretty sure we
anywhere.
said that.
No, they don't know the gender of the baby.
I mean, we're asking all these questions. It probably takes like a really hard concentration for them to speak to me.
Yeah, they have to use the radio.
I get a perfect, like a good enough one so I can actually speak, sort of.
Hmm?
That may be a little hard. More hard for us because we have no idea what could pop on.
Mm-hmm.
Pop off. It's flipping the radio. Almost like nobody.
Come here. Alexander.
I'm actually going to go look at this, that tensioning thing. I just want to see it for...
Yeah,
'cause
Alexander and I walked out there in the street to that thing. You got to keep your eye on this too, because the numbers can go up. If you're not around anything electrical and the numbers go up, that's kind of strange. So we need to call that out. Call out the numbers, right? If that happens.
Any readings coming up at all?
He was carrying this. There was no movement on the antenna.
Yeah.
I didn't see the numbers going up,
Yeah, you probably won't get a whole lot of numbers.
but Yeah, I mean, we asked if there was anything that anyone present near the cemetery could tell us. Because he heard talk to me, but... Oops.
So what I'm going to probably do is, because somebody just pulled in here, like I just told KRISTY and Matt, this lot belongs to the church, so sometimes they get a little funny about tourists coming through here. So I may pull us across the street, because I know he wanted to get some footage of that cemetery.
Oh, that car?
Yeah. So...
Yeah, we were going to go on the other side of... over by the other... But that tour group was still there, so we didn't...
A straight tensioning bar that goes through that attic to a bolt on the other side, isn't it?
Oh.
That's what it is.
Okay.
When I looked at it, I could tell that's what it was. So in theory, you're never going to pull it back, but it should help hold it in place when the earthquake happens.
So I think the theory behind it was that once the earthquake occurred, the building is going to be in a little disarray. So if you tighten it up, you can do it slowly and kind of go through it, slowly day by day, and hopefully it's going to hold the building back intact again.
Right. You would just need about 400 more.
Derek thought right up there by that cemetery area that he heard it say, talk to me.
Okay. You want to go ahead up there? Let's go.
We said, tell us some things, and I don't know if it said anything to him that was...
We heard them say Rochester, which it's states away of where we're from.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way of putting that on the radio. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, a little bit.
All different science.
Yeah, because we were standing here talking about like how warm the trees are
How much some of those pendulums sway.
and some of the monuments, and he said he heard it say, talk to me. Those two stone markers back there are really bright.
What's interesting about this place is that on this half,
Like the purple and white mark right there.
Those two that are side by side look like they're lava.
I'm looking right
Yeah.
here. There's some kind of
so Calhoun is buried on this side. His sarcophagus is like
White
back to your
circle.
left a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So you said
I think
you
it's a
don't
lighting.
confirm a lot of stuff until you go through the expert, your wife.
As far as if I can't figure it out on either a photo or a camera, then it goes to her.
Yeah.
And if it's a lighting issue, I'm like on the fence about it. I hand it over to her.
Yeah.
I don't even know if this is recording.
Right.
Yeah, if I see heat like come up out of nowhere, and it's very, very fast, or I can see it growing in temperature, that's a pretty big deal.
Here.
The other piece is that if I see
Just take it.
like a heat anomaly
We only have
moving,
a few more minutes, buddy.
Yeah.
Keep at her for a little bit.
yeah, we're just waiting for that group to move so he can get some footage, and then
Yeah,
I
there's
am
some...
just building it there.
I don't know what you'd call it. That sarcophagus.
but yeah, sometimes.
Sarcophagus
Yep, that's right, sarcophagus.
was
Sarcophagus.
blue and black, and then when I put it through the fence, it turned warm on there.
It's because this.
I
is
didn't
gonna
know
be,
if this was...
right.
Okay.
The wrought iron bars are gonna,
Be very
be
cold.
colder.
Because it was weird. It was a black box
Why
when
is it
all the
almost
other things that are stone in here were warm color.
Why is it almost 59 degrees?
Definitely
If it's
not. See what comes up.
What?
There's a lot of quick debunking with this based on the movement of it, especially with the camera that Matt's using. So if we see like a light anomaly in there, I want to make sure that it shows like it appears in the frame, like it didn't come from outside the frame, and then it disappears in the frame. So that way it's kind of like it showed up, it moved, and then it disappeared again. Like I don't want it to come like as a bug flying through it, because those are really fast. That's a quick debunk. But with that one there, like it's a lot about the movement of the camera. So
Okay, which is why I kind of tried to move it around, because I was like, well, that's weird that that's the only stone that's not warm.
I would
Can
say
I
that.
stop recording?
No, we're gonna go across the street.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's head across the street.
We're not by the recycling, but good remember.
Actually, we're close enough.
Okay.
So where did that person take a picture?
So the picture is actually back and off to the left. I don't know if they were inside the cemetery.
Oh,
I have never been in here because for the 6 years that I've lived in the Charleston area, this is never open.
Oh,
The reason why is because
because of that.
Not necessarily because of that. This is for native Charlestonians only. So if you belong to the church, like Charles Pinckney, the husband that we talked about earlier, he's buried in here because he's only from here.
Okay, so I heard an older gentleman walking with two friends up
Yeah,
when we were
just a
standing
minute.
over there, and he said the weird thing is, he goes, I can be buried in that one. He said I can't be buried in this one
Yeah,
Oh, that makes
because
that's why.
of,
Because he's not from here.
Yeah.
So John Calhoun, why he's buried over there, that's your 7th vice president, by the way, is because they moved his sarcophagus several times trying to figure out where the hell he was supposed to go. They didn't know he wasn't from here, so he originally started on this side,
they're
and then
like,
there was
"Oh, no,
debate
no, no,
back
no."
and forth. Like they moved him like 3 or 4 times. So he's over there because he just lived here for a very long time. He's not actually from here.
Yeah.
I want to say he's
That was
actually
you.
from the Columbian area. So you have to be native to Charleston in order to be buried on this side.
Oh, like I saw a person there. No, it's just really bumpy and weird. So
Yeah, they're doing quite a bit of work on
Yeah,
this.
well, also rubbing is illegal in South Carolina. So,
Oh, is it?
So like getting rubbings of gravestones, you know, because they're so old here, it is illegal. Like this is another reason why this one is always closed off. Again, for all the years that I've been coming down here,
why is like rubbing a gravestone?
because it'll eventually wear off the letters that are on
Yeah.
there, and you won't be able to read who's actually buried there.
It can harm the.
On a lot of them,
Yeah, so they.
depending on what kind of stone they use.
Yep. So
Stopped instead
there's a
of
lot of
doing
cemeteries
random
that I visit, because I mean I do visit cemeteries, especially
It
during
stopped
research
itself
times,
into like a new
see what other
recording.
family members I can tie things to,
Yeah.
whatever. Not always a supernatural thing, but for research. But you can see like where something has been rubbed off, you know, and the dates are there, but the name is gone, or you know something odd like that. But the word November did show up on my word list, so I'm hoping the number 28 also showed up somewhere. So that would be the full date. Well, yeah, it can. He's got the recording. I'm hoping that the 28 showed up on Dad's
Mine was
recording.
58.
Yeah, but there might be something on there you missed.
Oh, right.
So as I spot check it, not to say that I'm going to be seeking out 28. If it happens, it happens. But November is definitely relevant to the date of Anne Bonny's trial. So
She did not want to tell me what color her hair was.
I swear it's the truth.
I guess
Swear it's-
we already knew.
let's head over here. I'll start collecting your guys'.
Okay, can I stop recording now?
Yeah, you can